Welcome to Night City, where you can explore the ugly side and the uglier side of this futuristic city. When Cyberpunk 2077 launched in December 2020, it was launched with a lot of bugs to the point it was unplayable. It was so bad that Sony had to take down the PS4 version from their store. The ambitious game that was delayed 3 times before launching left a really bad scar in everyone's mind, with people saying it should have been delayed a 4th time. And on top of that, okay Jedi, we get it. It was terrible. So why now? It's almost been 3 years after it was released, so a lot of the bugs are fixed. The anime Cyberpunk Edgerunners did extremely well and was actually a really good contender for Anime of the Year, losing to animes such as like Attack on Titan. We all know how Attack on Titan is. And most importantly, Cyberpunk's DLC Phantom Liberty is releasing soon in September. So it really feels like all the stars are aligning. So I tried Cyberpunk out mostly because it was on sale on Steam for $30. I knew nothing about the game going into this. I only watched 1 episode of Edgerunners. It was really good. I don't know why I didn't keep watching. I was probably watching AOT or something. So I was basically going in the game blind. In Cyberpunk 2077, you play as V, in which you can customize your appearance, and after one of your heists gone terribly wrong, your days are numbered with the conscience of Johnny Silverhand, aka Keanu Reeves, in your head. So naturally, you'll do whatever you can so you can live.
How the fuck should I know?
You don't start with the game with Johnny in your head, so I'll dub the time before you have him in your head the prologue. The prologue is roughly 4 hours long, and honestly, I had no idea what was going on. It felt like they were introducing things that I should know already, so it made it really hard to follow, and it was unclear of where my place was in the overall story. But once I got Johnny in my head, the mission was clear. Get him out of my head. The story also slowed down a bit, so then I was able to grasp at what the game was presenting me. I just wished it didn't take 4 hours to get to that point, because for 4 hours, I had the
Pick up some.
I haven't a clue what's going on here, but I'll act like I do.
type of mentality. But once you're hitting the main strides of the story, I will say the game is really good. There's a lot to do in Night City. You got gigs you have to do for local fixers, quest givers, side jobs, cyber psychos, shopping, skills, upgrades, and legendary quote-unquote chests. At times it feels like there are almost too many things to do and a lot going on. But I think that's what makes Night City so special. It reminds you that you're not the only one here, and it's a living and breathing city. However, I wish they emphasized or separated the side quests that are somewhat important and should be completed before doing the final mission. If it affects potential endings, then it should be separated in the quest log. Does it need to be completed? Of course not, it's a side quest. But I should know if it's an important side quest that can affect the fate of Night City. Or if it's a side quest that gives me a free soda drink. Overall, I think the story is decent. It has a slow and confusing start, but when it hits its strides, it's actually pretty good. The characters in this game are well portrayed and acted. The star, Johnny Silverhand, voiced by Keanu Reeves, was so cool to see. I loved every second he was on the screen. V, Judy, Jackie, Panam, Rogue were other standouts, but honestly, all of them are, and it was just really, really well done. Night City itself is a really cool take on what a futuristic city could be. A drug and crime-ridden city with everyone drowning in lights and pleasure. From a distance, you get like a really cool landscape shot with neon lights everywhere. It almost feels blinding, but as you get closer and start like staring at dark alleys and corners, you start seeing trash, dirt, bugs, and other gross things everywhere. I think the high level detail that they put into this world is amazing. The combat was not what I was expecting. I had no idea this was a looter shooter until I started seeing a lot of guns on the floor. So if you have that looter shooter itch that you want to scratch, Cyberpunk can help you with that as we wait for the next big game. The gunplay reminds me of Borderlands 3. I don't know if it's the sounds, the recoil, or whatever, but it almost feels like a grounded Borderlands 3. Despite what people say about Borderlands 3, I loved the game, so I really got accustomed to the gunplay in Cyberpunk. That plus the other skills and abilities you're able to use, you really can do whatever. Whether you're like sneaking past every single enemy, disabling cameras, overloading turrets, downloading some virus, leaving without anyone noticing, or just strolling up gun blazing through the front door, or just all the above with style. Given enough time to spec into these skills, you will find a playstyle that you like. The only thing that sucks is that it takes a while to even get to specialize into the playstyle you want, so you need to level up to spec into the build you want. Then you might also need a certain type of gun, so you have to pray to the RNG gods for the right gun. You may also need tons of money to buy the right stuff too. So until you can get to your preferred playstyle, you'll most likely be doing things that you don't necessarily enjoy. And that can suck, especially if you despise sneaking around and just want to like W key everywhere and just shoot anything that moves. Where Cyberpunk shines the most is when you're given a task to either eliminate someone or investigate a gang's hideout. And then they're like, okay, I'll go figure out how to do that. It's amazing how a simple task of downloading a virus into their main computer can lead to so many ways of doing it. In some missions, they let you do like a tactical drone overview of the area, allowing you to see what lies beyond the front gate of the hideout, and allowing you to mark things that you feel that you need to pay attention to. This probably is the defining feature of Cyberpunk, as so many things can go right, and so many things can go wrong, and so many different scenarios can come off of it. It's really fun to do these type of missions that promote any type of playstyle. All in all, the game is definitely in a playable state right now. I did run into a few bugs where I had to restart my game, but I assume that's a lot better than what it was from launch. Now is probably the best time to visit Night City for the first time with Phantom Liberty around the corner. I don't really like giving numbered scores as it generalizes too much and drowns out the positives and negatives of certain features. I will say though that if you love open world games or have the itch of looter shooters to scratch, then you have to play this game. It took me about 23 hours to beat the game, but I can easily see other people, especially open world enthusiasts, going past 50 hours before the credits roll. I can definitely see myself coming back to play Phantom Liberty when it comes out in September. Night City is a really fun playground for any legal activities that you want to partake in. Now for my favorite part. If I were to change anything in this game, the main thing is to reorganize the quest log. As I said before, they need to separate the side quests from major side quests. I wouldn't want anyone to go into the final mission thinking that there are only two options to go with, only because they thought a certain side quest wasn't important. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom did this separation of side quests and side adventures. Although it didn't affect the ending, it helped determine which quests were of more significance before I stormed Hyrule Castle. Another thing I would have changed is the prologue. It's too slow. More and more people are having less and less attention span to a point where people need to watch Subway Surfer to listen to a podcast. So if you have a slow start, some people might just tune out. This is Cyberpunk. You are in Night City, a futuristic city. Surely you could do like some sort of bombastic intro mission, like robbing a warehouse full of drugs, running out with an explosion in the background. It's also an easy way to front load the basic tutorial within an exciting piece of action. Let's be real. Who would want to learn how to sneak around in a simulated world like this? Or learn how to sneak around when it feels like the stakes are high, similar to the intro in Persona 5. I prefer the latter. Games like Persona 5 and Final Fantasy 7, those are the first games that come into my mind, have something similar to this, and it works very well. And with an intro like this, as a developer, you can put a stamp on it and be like, this is Cyberpunk 2077. Obviously, you can't do that with every game. Like, I don't know how you can do that with like Stardew Valley. If pulled off correctly, it'll be really cool and you can keep the players engaged through the tutorials, because tutorials is usually where people get bored because of how slow it is and they just tune out and just won't keep playing. These were just my personal opinions, so at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. I will say though, if there's a time when you don't know what to play, try Cyberpunk, especially if it's on sale. Do it for Keanu. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. I plan on doing more of these review for any game I decide to play. I'll most likely be streaming them as I did with Cyberpunk. See ya and have a wonderful day.